All right, everyone, in today's episode, we're going to unbox, set up, and review the BackBit Pro Cartridge. All right, everyone, so today we're going to take a close look at the BackBit Pro that we recently purchased. So let's open this up and then take a little closer look at it. Okay, so here's the cartridge itself. It's got a 3D printed shell. There's a reset button on the top. And then down here we see the bottom of the cartridge. So what this thing does, it works for a number of retro video game consoles, and I'll go through that list in a moment. But they've got these little connectors, or adapters rather, that go into the bottom of this, and it allows you to use the same game cartridge in multiple consoles. And what's unique about that is you can put all these different files on one SD card. So for example, you can have one for Atari 7800, one for the Atari 400, one for the Odyssey 2, etc. A file for each one of those, and put them onto this same SD card, the same cartridge, and then all you got to do is swap this back and forth between the different consoles, and it will play those without having to go back in and reformat your SD card or mess with any of that stuff. And this intrigued me a lot because there are some older consoles that I like a lot, and we don't have many games for some of those. So I thought, oh, this would be a unique way to be able to play games on some of those different consoles. So now, before we get into the specifics of what all I purchased, let me go through the list that this is supposed to work on currently. All right, so as of the date of this video, February 2nd of 2024, this cartridge can be used on the Astronic MPU 1000 or 2000 and Radofin 1292-1392 Advanced Programmable Video System, the Amstrad CPC GX4000, APF M1000 MP1000, the Apple II Plus, 2E, 2GS, Atari 2600, Atari 5200, Atari 7800 with Pokey emulation, Atari 400, 800, XL, XE, and XEGS, Bally Astrocade, Professional Arcade Computer System, Home Library Computer, ColecoVision, Atom, Commodore 16, Commodore 64, and the Commodore 128. And that includes C64, C64C, SX64, C64GS, C128, C128D, PAL, and NTSC variants. The Commodore VIC-20 and VC-20, Emerson Arcadia 2001, Epoch Super Cassette Vision, Fairchild Channel F, IBM PC Junior, Interton VC4000, that's the Radofin APVS clone, the Magnavox Odyssey 2 or Philips Video Pack with voice emulation, Mattel Aquarius with mini expander, Mattel Intellivision, Soundic MPT-03, this is the Arcadia clone, MSX1 and 2 with SCC emulation, RCA Studio 2 and 3, the Sega Master System, SG-1000, Sega Mark III, etc. Sinclair ZX81, Timex Sinclair 1000, and Timex Sinclair 1500. Tandy Color Computer 2 and 3. Timex Sinclair 2068 with Kimstone support. TI-99 4A. Tommy Tudor. Vectrex, GCE and Milton Bradley, ZX Spectrum 48K, 128K, +2 with Kimston support. So I just went over the list that is currently supported for this cartridge. Now, one thing that's neat about this, and I'll show you the card here. So this is the card that comes with this package. So Evie Solomon, she's the one that's designed this thing, and she runs this business. And she's designed this to where if there's anything that you see that's not listed, like some type of a retro game console that you think should be supported by this, you can send her an email, or send BackBit an email. And here's the email address. You can send an email in, and they will look at options to make this thing compatible with that console. I think that's pretty slick, and the fact that they're still trying to expand the usage of this cartridge right here to be able to work for even more consoles than it already does, which is a lot currently. So before we get into the different options, let's just take a little bit of closer look at this and what this thing is. So we've got, again, a small cartridge here, and there's a port here that we will use to install our adapters later. We've got the BackBit logo across the front. This is a plastic, I think it's ABS 3D printed shell here. Reset button, here's your SD card slot. Over here on the side, this is a plug-in for what's called the back button, and I'll show you that in a minute because I picked one of those up. And yeah, so here's this. Now let's take a look at the individual items that I also purchased. So when you purchase the cartridge, you're allowed to select one adapter to go with it. And I selected the Odyssey 2. I really like the Odyssey 2 console, and there's a lot of games that I don't have for it, unfortunately, so I thought this would be one I definitely wanted added. So this is the one I chose to be included with the cartridge itself. Just take a quick look. Now there's some different things in here. One thing to note is if you go to their website, you can get a little bit more information, but if you want to set up a reset switch for these, and not just for this one, but for some of these different cartridges, they have these jumpers that you install inside of the console on the board and to this, so that whenever you are playing the games, you can hit the reset button and go back. That's the idea of those. Otherwise though, this is the adapter here for the Odyssey 2. We will see how this Odyssey 2 adapter connects with the cartridge itself. Now you'll note here, if you see this little part that's sticking out on the bottom, that's an alignment pin for here to make sure that you've got it installed on the correct side. And there are a lot of pins, so you got to make sure you get this lined up pretty good from the start. If it starts to go crooked, then it won't go in correctly. There we go. All right, so here's what the Magnavox Odyssey will look like, this cartridge here. Now let's take a look at the other ones we've got. This one here is for the Intellivision. Go. So nothing too crazy about this. This one is for the Vectrex. I'm not going to take it out of the bag quite yet, just so you guys can see what it looks like though. This is for the ColecoVision. This is for Atari 8-bit personal computers, so this is the 400 and 800 adapter. And then we've got this back button here. So let's open this up and take a little closer look at it. All right, so here's the button. And essentially what this is, I mean, it's a button as it's described. But what you're going to do is you're just going to plug this into the port. And then the other end goes into the cartridge itself. And the idea of this is, let's say you've got your console. I'm not sure how long this cable is, but you could probably get a longer cable if you needed to. But let's say you don't have your console right next to you and you want to get back to the menu on the SD card without having to turn the console off and go and turn it back on. Then you can just hit this button here and it'll go back. It's pretty slick. So, and they've got the logo on here. with the two little LEDs. But yeah, so then you can just hit it and go back. There's a lot of videos on these on YouTube, so as far as the function of them and how they work. So if you're really interested in this, then I recommend checking out some of BackBit's videos from Evie Solomon, and you can see how some of these work and kind of the progression of the making of this thing. Because if you go back to some of the original videos they had of just starting to make these, and as they've integrated and made a lot more different adapters for their consoles, it's pretty interesting. But here's the button. So now what we're going to do, we are going to test fit this in a few different consoles that we've got here to see how well it either does or doesn't fit into the consoles themselves. All right, so up first here we've got our Magnavox Odyssey 2 with the voice expansion, and this is compatible with the voice, so it's supposed to work in here. Now to get you guys a little closer look, we're going to turn this thing around. All right, so here is the port for the Odyssey 2. Here's our cartridge. So let's see how this thing fits. So actually inserting it in and taking it out, it's pretty easy, no problem. None that I can see anyways. So here's what it'll look like from the front. And you've got your game cartridge, your adapter down here. And then if you want to plug in your back button, you'd plug that in here and just run it to wherever. But this is the Odyssey 2. Now let's move on to the next console. All right, so the next thing we're going to test out is our Intellivision. We've already installed the adapter into the cartridge. So let's turn this around. All right, so let's see how well this is going to fit in here. There we go. So that's how it looks from the side. And this is how it looks from the front here with it hanging out the side. But yeah, not bad. It fits, it's pretty snug. One thing I will note is I was looking up inside here whenever I was connecting it just to make sure that I didn't have any issues. It did go in without any problems, but I wanted to just make sure that it was going to be lined up correctly. But the housing itself, or the case here, it fits this hole almost perfectly. So it's pretty easy to insert and remove whenever you need to. All right, the last console that we're going to try out here is our Vectrex. Now this thing's a little bit filthy. I recently acquired it and I'm in the process of restoring it, so it's not done yet. But anyways, we're going to check and see how well this cartridge will fit in here. I've already installed the adapter on the bottom for this. We see how it looks. Now let's turn this thing around on the side and I'll show you how well the cartridge fits. All right, so I've got you guys lined up right in front of the cartridge port here, and I'm going to show you how easily this will line up. And there we go. So that's what it looks like when it's inside. All right, so here's a different view just so you guys can see this kind of from up above of how this looks while it's installed in here. And then we'll flip this around so you can see the front. And here's how it looks from the front. Okay, so here's our cartridge. You just seen us test it out on a few different consoles that we had laying around here. Overall, I mean, all the adapters themselves seems to fit well in the consoles. The next thing we're going to do is I'm going to show you how I'm going to set my SD card up. And then once we get that done, we're going to test this out on a few different consoles and see how it works. Now, what I will say about this is, from an aesthetic point of view, I think they could have done a little better job on the 3D printing. There's no issue with it being 3D printed, but you know, there's a lot of companies out there that do 3D printing now that do it really well. I think they could have done a little better resolution on here so we wouldn't see these layer lines. Now, is that going to affect how this thing plays? No, not at all. I bring this up because this isn't a cheap cartridge. I know they've spent a lot of time developing and everything, and that's great, but I just think for the price, they could have done a little better job on the 3D printing of this thing. But having said that, I mean, everything else, it seems to be well made. It's got some weight to it. Like I said, I know that they've spent a lot of time on the development of this, And the flexibility of it's amazing, just being able to play it on all these different consoles. But overall, I think it's good. The only thing that I would knock on this at this point is just them maybe doing a little better job on the 3D printing. But having said that, let's go in. I'll show you how to set up the SD card, and then from there, we'll test this thing out. All right, everyone, so I'm going to show you how to set up your SD card for the BackBit Pro. Now, one thing to take into consideration here is we are using a SanDisk Ultra Class 10 32 gigabyte micro SD card. The cartridge itself will support larger SD cards. However, some of the consoles have issues with them. Because of that, I decided to just go with the 32 gigabyte. Now, the reality is the games that you're going to be putting onto this are very small in size, so the 32 gigabytes should be just fine. But this is what we're using. I'll put a link in the description if you're interested in purchasing the same one that we did. All right, so right now we're looking at our file manager menu here. And if you take a look down here, removable disk H, that's where we're at. What we want to do first is we want to format the card. And we want to make sure, especially if you're using a card that you've already used for something else, make sure to back up whatever files you have somewhere else, because formatting it will delete whatever you have on there. So we're going to click Format. It's going to be FAT32. Click Start. Yep. Warning, formatting will erase all data. Okay. We'll just let this do its thing. Formatting complete. Okay. Close. All right. So we've got it formatted. Now what we want to do is we want to open up the file itself. Okay, so we've got our micro SD card window open on the right and our downloads on the left. I do it like this because it's easy. Once we download the files, we can just drag and drop them over here onto the right. All right, so here we are at the BackBit Pro website. And what you want to do is, I mean, this is the website itself, the main page. You can look around, do whatever you want to do. But if you scroll all the way to the bottom of the page, you're going to see it says Find Product, Documentation, and Download. So this is where we want to go right here. We're going to click on it. And then we've got a number of different options on the left. You'll see Documents, Firmware, Models, Patches, Tests, Tool. Models, if you've got certain adapters that come with this, you can download the 3D models to print out the case for those adapters in some cases, and that's what that is. But really what we want to focus on here is just the firmware. So let's left click on the firmware. Now we've got the BackBit, so that's what we want to click on. And then here's the different revisions. We want the newest one, which is, as of the date of this video, this is 2/6/2024. So we're going to click on this, and it's going to automatically start downloading. Now that we're in our folder, we are going to right-click on the folder that we downloaded, and we are going to extract all. Extract. Now you'll notice here, O2 voice, that's for the Odyssey 2 or the voice module. So this cartridge actually, if you don't have the voice module, this cartridge can replicate that for you so that you don't have to have it, which is pretty neat. We have it for ours, but it's a neat little item here. So what you can do here is you just right-click this folder, it's a zip file, and you're going to extract it. Extract. Okay, so here we are. We've got a couple different files here. Again, we've got the O2 voice. So what we're going to do is we're going to set up some folders on our micro SD card. All right, so we've created a few folders here. I've got Intellivision, Odyssey 2, and Vectrex. And these are for the game files that I'm going to be putting into here because we're going to be testing this out on each one of these different systems. So what we're also going to do is we're going to drag and drop the O2 voice over here onto this main file. And we are going to put these two BackBit Pro documents to the root. So we're just going to drop this into here like this. All right, you guys, so at this point, we've got everything set up the way it should be. You notice that we've got the 3 different game consoles that we're going to test this out on, and this is where we're going to put our game files, and that's it. So we shouldn't have to do anything else. Now, BackBit Pro does not provide you with game files. You're going to have to find them for yourself, but everything else you can download on their website to be able to actually use the cartridge. So enough talking with the SD card setup. Now let's get in and let's test this thing out. All right, everyone, so we're going to record some gameplay using a number of different consoles. And we're going to do that by using this RF to HDMI converter. And we're going to use this for many different consoles and show you guys how that works to go from RF to HDMI. And then the HDMI is going into our Elgato HD60X game capture device. We're going to use the BackBit Pro to play a number of different games. And right now we're going to start off with the Odyssey 2. And you'll note here that our Odyssey 2 has the voice module installed on the top. Now these are a little bit rare, they're kind of expensive. Fortunately for us, whenever we bought the Odyssey, it came with this. But if you don't have this, you can still use the BackBit. And if you see right here, there's a little auxiliary port where you can run this to an external speaker to basically replicate what this voice module was going to do. But since we've got it, we don't need to do that. So let's get this thing powered on, and then we will test out some games and give you our thoughts. All right, so we see the BackBit loading screen, and now we're into the Odyssey folder with all the different games. Now this is the folder that we set up on the SD card with the games inside. To navigate the folder, all you need to do is use your joystick and move up and down to go through the different games. Or if you want to go, like for instance, there's only 4 games listed here. If you want to go over, you just hit right to go over to the next screen or left to go back. It's pretty simple. And then to select one, you will just hit the action button right here. But one thing we want to take into consideration really quick, again, we've got this voice module installed on our console. Now, what this does is some of the games, not all of them, but some of the games are set up to where this thing will talk to you when you're playing a game. It may make fun of you, it may encourage you, it does different things. It's pretty cool though. But because of that, we have to set up something on this cartridge. This is something that I didn't know ahead of time, and I was trying to play games and none of the games were working right. So I reached out to BackBit and they immediately responded and said we have to go into the menu of the cartridge to be able to turn off the voice. And then what we're turning off is this additional thing here to make sure that it's going to use the voice instead of trying to send it somewhere else. So to do that, what we got to do is we're just going to hit our plus button right here. And now you can see we've got a number of things on our screen. We've got the date, we've got the time, sort, how we want to sort the files, and then we've got the voice. Now you notice that I've got disabled. That's because we're disabling this option on the cartridge. We've still got our voice module here, and we want to make sure that's what we're using. If you don't have the voice, then you would leave that enabled, and you can just run an auxiliary cable out to a speaker somewhere and use that. So, having said that, that fixed all of our problems. And again, they responded back immediately, and I was able to check it out, and there's no issues. So, we're going to hop out of here. We're just going to hit minus. And now we're back into the main menu, and let's pick out some games and try to play them. So up first here we've got Alien Invaders. So let's check it out. Whenever you click the action button to start it, you're going to hit reset, and that'll start the game up. And now, if you're familiar with the Magnavox Odyssey, there's a number of games on each cartridge, or different options, if you will. Similar to the Atari, how they had different modes that you would select. This is the same way, and to do that you select one of these buttons along the top here. So I'm just going to hit 1 to start the game up, and we're going to play it. So here we are, we're in the game, and we're just going to move our joystick left to right. Now in this game you got to try to destroy the aliens up on top, the little red guys, and the monster all the way on the top. So it can get a little tricky, but it's overall a fun game. And then if you get hit and now you're out of your spaceship, you go underneath one of these black squares and you hit your action button. Oh, now you got a spaceship again. But you can take cover behind these blocks until you've used them all up. So that's how this game works. It's working just fine, no problems. Now let's go into maybe a couple of the better games for the system. So we're gonna go back out. All right, now we're back at our menu. Now let's play some games that I really like for this console. Let's do KC's Crazy Chase. This is a fun game. All right, so as I said before, you're gonna hit your action button, and then it's gonna look kind of crazy, and then you're gonna hit reset, and now we're into the game. So you're just gonna pick whatever game you wanna do. Let's do 1. Okay, so the objective of this game is to eat the caterpillar.
Watch out.
Now you hear the voice speaking to us. I'll turn it up a little bit.
Oh no.
Oh, we died. Let me turn this up a little bit so we can hear this.
Go.
Okay, here we go.
Watch out. Out. Oh, no.
All right. Let me get restarted here so I can pay attention to what I'm doing.
Run. Watch out. Hurry. Hurry. Out. Oh, no.
Ah, shoot. Well, you got to eat the caterpillar from the back to the front.
Go.
Let's retry this for a second.
Hurry.
Here we go.
Watch out. Hurry.
And when you eat the caterpillar, it's kind of like eating a power pellet in
Watch out.
Pac-Man. It gives you the ability to eat the bad guys. All right.
Incredible. Go.
All right, so here we go again.
Watch out.
Let's try to get this guy.
Hurry. Watch out.
All right.
Incredible. Go.
All right, we'll try one more here. But this is working great.
Out.
And it starts to go faster. The mazes get a little bit more difficult. The enemies get a little smarter with each level.
Run.
All right.
Incredible. Go. Watch out. Watch out.
Come on.
Hurry.
What's also cool about this game is the fact that you can create your own levels, so your own mazes. It's pretty cool.
Watch out. Watch out.
Get back here.
Out. Oh, no.
Ran into his face. Okay. We'll turn this thing back down for a minute. So you see how this works. This is a very fun game, by the way. But the voice is what really gives this thing some character and makes it stand out. It's a shame that not all the games utilize this because it makes it a lot funner. Again, there's some games that this thing will kind of make fun of you and stuff, but it's pretty cool. So everything's working great on this game right now, no issue. Let's go back and let's test out a different game. All right, so here we are at the main menu again. Let's check out, let me see here. All right, let's check out Killer Bees. So again, we're gonna hit our action button. We'll hit reset. There we go. And you can hear the voice making the bee sound. We're just gonna do the first game and try it out. Here we go. Okay, so essentially, we are the bees. And we want to eat the blue guys. Or eat these guys anyways, without getting attacked by the bad bees. But we are a swarm of bees, the white ones here. And the more we get attacked, the more that we get attacked, the less amount of bees we have. Okay, all right. So this is a pretty cool game. All right, so all right, here we are again. Let's see. Come on. Every time you get hit by the green bees, it kills some of your bees. And it starts getting pretty difficult because you see how fast everything's going. Oh, we died. Okay, well, this is Killer Bees. This is another fun game. Now let's get back to the main menu and we'll pick another game. All right, here we are back at the main menu again. And let's try Pickaxe Pete. What we got? Here we go. We'll try Pickaxe Pete for a minute. So this is kind of like Donkey Kong, but you have other things you have to do too. You got to find this key to be able to get into this door here. Oh boy. All right, but yeah, this is working just like it should. So the BackBit's doing its job to make everything play correctly on here. And our RF to HDMI is doing a great job of doing the video capture on this so that we can show you guys exactly what we're seeing. All right, so that's enough of this game. We're gonna hop off of this console, and then we are going to get into the Intellivision. All right, you guys, so here we are with our Intellivision. We've got our BackBit Pro installed with the Intellivision adapter, and we're using our RF to HDMI video converter that's going to our Elgato HD60X so that we can do game capture from this. But this thing's pretty slick because it allows us to play all these old consoles. It's got the RF out without having to make a modification to the console itself. All right, so let's get this thing turned on and check it out. All right, so we've got our BackBit menu that popped up. Now let's pick us a game. All we're gonna do to pick a game, you're just gonna hit down or up, or left and right on this, and then you will hit enter to go into it. There's also buttons on the side here for different games, but we're just gonna pick a couple games. All right, let's play Donkey Kong. Oh yeah. All right, so let's get into this thing here. 1 player, 1 to 4. Let's go to play level 1, because I'm probably gonna die pretty quick anyway. So let's do this. I'm ready. Okay, let's get our banana. Oh, go figure, I died. Okay. Ah. All right. Well, I'm terrible at this game. Can't get him even jump on. Let's try a different game out. So to get back to our main menu, we're going to use our back button that we purchased, and we just hit it, boom, and we're back at the menu. This is pretty slick. All right, so let's see what else we got here. Ladybug. Let's try Ladybug. Player 1, level 1. Okay. Good luck. Yep, I'm gonna need it. Oh my gosh. Oh boy, here we go. Come on. So one of the neat things about this game is they got these little doors that you can go in and kind of block off everything to keep you from getting hit. But I'm not that great at this game, so. Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay. Anyways, it's working just fine. I don't see any issues with it. And there goes my ghost. It's interesting how you're a ladybug, but the ghost looks like a person. Anyhow, everything seems to be working okay. The sound's pretty good. Now let's go back to the main menu and we'll try out another game. What do we want to play? Cubert. Not that game. Mousetrap. Let's try Mousetrap. This sounds awesome. Oh boy. Yeah, I need a... This would be so much better on here if they had a regular joystick. This... Oh boy, about to die. Anyways, it's working good, sounds good, it looks good. Let's go back. We'll test out one more game before we call it a day on the Intellivision. But everything seems to be working fine. The menu, it's easy to get through. Maze. Let's try Maze. Oh yeah, I like the music. Wow. Practice, yes. I have no idea what I'm doing. Oh, okay, I see. I'm on a circuit board. Man, the screen's going pretty quick. I don't know if I have to make it to the end without dying or what's going to happen here, but uh-oh, looks like I'm stuck. I guess I'm going to die now. Yes, okay, I see what we're doing. Just going to go back. All right, I see what we're doing anyways. Let's try to do this one time and then, ah boy. Don't want to go there, that's for sure. Well, that didn't last long, did it? Okay, we'll try one more. Okay, well, you see how it works. I mean, everything's working and doing just what it should do. It sounds like it should sound, so I don't see any issue at all. All right, we're back at our main menu, and we're not going to play any more games on the Intellivision. I think this was a decent sample just to show you guys what we can do with this. And now let's go to our next console. Next up, we're going to test out the Atari 7800. Now, whenever we originally set up our SD card, we didn't have that in there, but it's because I was waiting to get the adapter from BackBit. I ordered that afterwards because I wanted to try it, and we've got it now, so that's what we're going to test out next, the Atari 7800. All right, you guys, now we've got our Atari 7800 set up. We've got the BackBit Pro Cartridge installed, and we've got our RF to HDMI converter so that we can do game capture through our Elgato HD60X game capture device. So let's turn this thing on and see what it does. All right, we're going to be using our TAC2 joystick, and we can see what we got here. Let's see. So we got the 2600 and the 7800. Let's start with the 2600. The 7800 will play 2600 games, so that's why I've got them on here too, so we can try them out. See what we got. Let's do Donkey Kong. All right, let's rock and roll. There we go, we got it. All right, so this is working just fine. Let's go back to the main menu, Demon Attack. Here we go. Everything seems to be working just fine. I don't see any issues. Oh, gotcha. All right, so what do we want to do? Let's do Atlantis. Yeah, seems to be working just as it should. I don't see any issues. Only issue is I'm not hitting anything. But yeah, everything seems to be working just fine. So now let's test out a couple 7800 games. Let's do what do we want to play here? Tower Toppler. That's a fun game. Let's try that out for a minute. All right, man, they just keep throwing stuff at me. If I can get away from everything, maybe we can get to the top of this damn thing. Okay. There we go. Okay. All right. And there we go. All right. This is a fun game. It's very, very tough. Much harder than what I made it look, that's for sure. You got to figure out how to basically navigate through these things like mazes. All right, let's go back to the main menu. Let's do Centipede. Damn it, come back here. Gotcha. Anyways, this is Centipede. Seems to be working fine. We're going to try one more game out and then we're going to call it a day for this thing. Robotron 2084. Come on. This isn't the easiest game in the world to do with these joysticks because you got to be pointing in the direction you're shooting, which also moves the character. All right, here we go. Oh, shoot. Well, anyways, this seems to be working fine. So I don't see any issues with any of the games on the 2600 or the 7800. Everything seems to be working good. The BackBit Pro is doing its job. The RF to HDMI converter is doing its job. Now we're going to take a look at our Vectrex using the BackBit Pro. All right, you guys, so here we are with the Vectrex. We've got our BackBit Pro installed. We're going to turn this thing on and see how it works. Now, one thing I will note is there are some games that aren't supported for the Vectrex on the BackBit Pro. I don't know what all games those are. I'm sure you could look it up online, but they do state that there's some games that aren't currently supported. So here's our BackBit menu, and then we've got our game menu. So we can go through and just use our up and down to pick the game, left and right. So let's do, let's try Dark Tower. Well, this is cool. Okay. Inventory, 5 residue, 2 bags of gold. Okay. Here we go. Huh. I guess there's anything in there. Let's see. Well, it seems to be working fine. I don't see any issues with it. Other than the fact I don't know what I'm doing in the game. Other than that, it seems to be working just fine. Alright, so here we are back to main menu. Let's try another game. Bedlam. Let's see what that is. Alright, here we go. Bedlam. Let's try this. Almost got me. Alright. Man, you get carpal tunnel in a day playing this damn game. Alright. Well, this is Bedlam. It's working just fine. Let's get back to the main menu. Alright, so here we are back at the main menu. Let's see. Let's try this one. Hyper Chase. Oh, okay, here we go. I was pushing the wrong button. Duh. Oh boy, it's starting to go fast. Whoa. All right. This is pretty cool, but I wrecked. Okay, yeah, so this is working just fine, I think. So this is Hyper Chase. We'll try out another game on here. Alright, so here we are again. Let's see if we can find one more game to try out. Star Trek, Star Hawk. That sounds cool. Let's try that out. Star Hawk. Okay. Oh boy. Oh, okay, I see. Whoa. This is pretty cool. One problem I see with these games is just the amount of times you have to hit the button. Man, a turbo button would be awesome. Get the hell out of here. All right, you guys, you've seen us test out a number of consoles with the BackBit Pro, including this Vectrex right here. Everything worked as it should. There are some games that are not covered for the Vectrex with the BackBit Pro. I don't know what all they are, but I'm sure you can look online and do a little bit of research and you can find that out. But this is a good option if you want to be able to do that, just because you can use that same cartridge for so many different consoles and just swap out the adapter itself instead of having to buy another multi-cart. So that's it. Now we will close everything out and give you guys our final thoughts on the BackBit Pro. All right, everyone, you just seen us unbox, set up, and review the BackBit Pro cartridge. Now this thing worked just like it was supposed to. The flexibility of being able to use it on multiple retro game consoles and computers is awesome. If you're looking for a way to play some hard-to-find games, well, here you go. You can find some ROMs, put them on the cartridge, and then play it. Also, it's very easy to set up the SD card. You can just put all your files on that one SD card without having to have multiple. The adapters and being able to use them on so many different consoles is awesome. And even being able to play some of these Vectrex games. I mean, how about that? That thing's so rare, being able to do that on that same cartridge that you can throw into the Atari 7800. It's pretty neat. Hey, we really appreciate you guys tuning into the video. We hope you've enjoyed it. And until next time, keep gaming.